Everything you need to know about finasteride. If you're a man dealing with hair loss, whether you have had a hair transplant or you're trying to prevent one, someone somewhere has probably told you to take finasteride, and someone else must have probably told you strongly never to use it. Today, I'm going to give you most honest, research-backed breakdown of finasteride you will find anywhere. We will understand exactly what this medication will and will not do for your hair. By the end of this video, you will know how finasteride works, what results you can realistically expect from this, and what are the real side effect picture. Also, what post-transplant patients need to know that most clinics will never tell them. If you want medically accurate, no myth hair content every week, then subscribe to this channel. Also, we are giving out the first 100 consultation calls absolutely free of cost. So connect with us on the number given below in the description and get your hair loss assessed by a dermatologist. What finasteride actually does. So let me start with what's actually happening on your scalp. Hair loss in men is common. It is the kind where your hairline recedes, your crown thins, the pattern that is familiar for you because your father also had it. This type of pattern is called androgenetic alopecia, which simply means that the male hormones and genetics are working together to cause this hair loss. The main driver of this kind of hair loss is hormone called DHT, short for dihydrotestosterone. DHT is not testosterone. It's what testosterone becomes when an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase converts it. It is as a factory that takes raw testosterone and updates it into DHT. DHT is more potent, and for your hair follicles, that potency is a problem. In your scalp, specifically in the frontal zone and the crown, hair follicles have androgen receptors. These receptors are genetically programmed to be sensitive to DHT. When DHT binds to them, it triggers a cascade of reaction that shrinks the hair follicle, cycle by cycle. The hair that grows gets thinner, shorter, and weaker over time. Eventually, the follicle stops producing visible hair altogether. This process is known as miniaturization, and once it goes far enough, it is irreversible. Now let's understand what happens when finasteride comes into picture. Finasteride blocks 5-alpha reductase, specifically the type 2 version of this enzyme. It essentially shuts down the conversion factory. Less conversion means less DHT, and less DHT means less signal to miniaturize your follicle. A clinical trial published in the Journal of American Academy of Dermatology followed 1,553 men over 2 years and found that finasteride 1 mg daily significantly increased hair count. Majority of men experienced slowed or stabilized hair loss, and that means for most of them, finasteride primarily stabilized the ongoing loss, and in many patients, it can also partially reverse miniaturization and improve the density. This distinction matters enormously because patients who go in expecting a full regrowth are disappointed, and patients who understand the mechanism use the medication correctly and benefit from it. If this research breakdown is helping you make a better decision about your treatment, please like this video. It takes 1 second and it helps this information reach more people who need it. What results can I actually expect? Now that you understand why it works, let me tell you what it actually looks like in practice, because the expectations gap is where most patients go wrong. The first thing finasteride does is stabilize. You will probably not see any visual change in the first 3 months. In fact, some patients experience a temporary shed in the first 6 to 8 weeks, which is normal, and I will explain why in a moment. The point is, do not panic and stop the medication because you think it is making things work. It is just doing its job. By month 6, most patients who respond to finasteride see a halt in further progression. The thinning stops getting worse, and this is the first result, and it is the most important one because without it, everything else continues to deteriorate. Between months 12 and months 24, a subset of patients will see some degree of density recovery. The same JAAD trial that I mentioned earlier found that men on finasteride had improved vertex hair count at both 1 and 2 years versus placebo, with results continuing to improve between year 1 and year 2. But I will tell you one thing very honestly, not everybody responds equally. Roughly 15 15 to 17% of the patients will see minimum response. Genetics do play a role. Age plays a role. How long the miniaturization has already progressed plays a role. A follicle that has been dormant for a long time may not respond properly. And here is the rule that I tell every patient in my clinic. Give it 12 months before you judge it. Hair biology is slow and results compound over time. Stopping at month 4 because you do not see a miracle is the most common reason men say finasteride did not work for me, when in fact it never got the chance to work. Drop your current month of finasteride use in comments and tell me, are you seeing stabilization or still unsure? What are the side effects? This is the section you came for, and I'm going to give it to you straight. In the clinical trials for finasteride 1 mg, 3 sexual side effects were reported: decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, and decreased ejaculatory volume. The combined incidence across these effects in the treatment group was approximately 3.8%. Let me put that in perspective. In a room full of 100 men all on finasteride 1 mg, only 4 will experience any sexual side effect. And in most cases, those effects resolved when the medication was stopped. Here is how to think about each of these side effects. Decreased libido. It is reported in around 1.8% of the users in trials. This is caused by lower DHT levels, which play a role in sexual drive. So if you notice this, do not push through. Discuss it with your doctor immediately, because most cases resolve after stopping the medication. Erectile dysfunction. Reported in approximately 1.3% of the patients, the action is to be taken in this case is same as above. Stop and consult your doctor. Do not try to manage this silently. Mood changes or low mood swings. Some studies have found the association between finasteride and depressive symptoms. The data is not conclusive, but if you have a history of depression or anxiety, your prescribing doctor must know this before you start the treatment. Red flag. Stop immediately and see a doctor if you experience persistent sexual dysfunction lasting beyond 2 weeks, significant mood changes, or any neurological symptoms such as persistent brain fog or cognitive decline. These are not expected side effects and would require immediate medical review. The goal is not to frighten you of medication that works for the overwhelming majority. Finasteride and fertility. What younger patients must know. If you are in your 20s or in your early 30s and considering finasteride, there is conversation about fertility that needs to happen, and most clinics skip it entirely. DHT does play a role in spermatogenesis, and studies have shown that finasteride can reduce sperm count, sperm motility, and ejaculatory volume in some users. A study published in Fertility and Sterility reported that a subset of men on finasteride showed reduced sperm parameters, and importantly, these parameters generally recovered after discontinuation. The important word here is generally. In most cases, sperm parameters normalize within 2 to 6 months of stopping finasteride. Most reported changes in sperm parameters appear reversible after discontinuation. So, if you are actively trying to conceive now or within the next 6 to 12 months, finasteride should either be paused or not started. If conception is not an immediate concern, the risk for men is low and manageable, but it must be part of an informed decision. This is not a reason for most young men to avoid finasteride. It is a reason to have an honest conversation with your prescribing doctor about your family planning timeline. Doctors who do not ask this question before prescribing are missing a clinical part of the clinical picture. If you are considering finasteride and fertility is a concern, ask for a baseline semen analysis before start. This gives you data to compare against if questions arise later. It is a simple step that most patients are never offered. Know what you are starting, know why, and know what to monitor. Oral finasteride dosage, timing, and everything in between. Oral finasteride is the form most patients are prescribed. Most studies have been conducted on, and most of this video has reference. But the practical details of how to actually take it correctly, timing, dosage, and what to expect on day 1 versus month 12 are rarely explained. Let us fix that. So, What is the correct dose? For hair loss, the correct dose of oral finasteride is 1 milligram per day. That is it. You do not start slow and increase it over time. 1 mg is the dose you stay on. Now, finasteride also come in a 5 mg tablet, but that is used for prostate problems and not hair loss. A higher dose does not mean better or faster results for your hair. It just means more side effects or no extra benefit. What should be the timing? Finasteride has a plasma half-life of approximately 6 hours, but its biological effects on 5-alpha reductase activity persist for a significantly longer time, which is why once daily dosing is effective and twice daily dosing is not clinically necessary. Take it as the same time every day. Morning with food is the most common and practical approach. It reduces the mild nausea that a small subset of patients experience on an empty stomach and anchors it to an existing routine. The specific time matters less than the consistency of it. What happens if you miss a dose? Missing a single day dose not meaningfully interrupt DHT suppression given the sustained enzyme inhibition effect. Do not double up the next day. There is no clinical rationale for this and it introduces unnecessary hormone fluctuation. Simply resume your regular schedule. The patients who run into problems are not the ones who occasionally miss a day. They are the ones who miss weeks or months while intending to be consistent. Inconsistent use produces inconsistent DHT suppression, which produces inconsistent results and makes it genuinely impossible to assess whether the medication is working or not. What to expect in the first week? Nothing dramatic, and that is the correct answer. Finasteride does not produce a perceptible sensation. There is no scalp tingling, no visible change in the first month, no immediate sign that anything is happening. This absence of early feedback is precisely why patients drop out is highest in the first 3 months. The medication, however, is working at a biochemical level. For example, DHT conversion is being suppressed within days of starting, but the hair cycle is too slow for that biochemical change to express itself visibly for months. Some patients experience temporary shed in week 6 to 10. The mechanism is the same as minoxidil-induced shed. The follicles that were in the prolonged weakened telogen phase are now being pushed out to reset the cycle. This is a sign that the follicle environment is changing, not the medication is damaging your existing hair. It resolves on its own. The patients who stop the drugs during this window are without exception making a decision based on the worst data point in the entire treatment course. The long-term reality: oral finasteride is a medication typically continued long-term for as long as benefits outweigh the risk and your doctor advises continuing it. There is no timeline for this. There is no loading phase that ends. There is no point at which the course is complete. It is solely decided by the doctor when to stop and when to resume, depending upon the clinical response he sees in your hair. Patients who start with that clarity get far better long-term outcomes than the patients who start impulsively and stop without a plan. There is a version of finasteride that most patients and even some clinics are not yet discussing, and for a specific subset of patients, it changes the calculus significantly. Topical finasteride is a locally applied solution which is delivered directly to the scalp that achieves meaningful DHT suppression at the follicular level while producing substantially lower systemic absorption than the oral form. A study published in the Journal of European Academy of Dermatology and Venereology found that topical finasteride 0.25% applied once daily reduced scalp DHT by approximately 60% while reducing serum DHT by only around 20% compared to roughly 70% systemic reduction with oral finasteride. But why does it matter? Because the side effects concerned with oral finasteride is systemic. DHT has a physiological role beyond your scalp, like in sexual function, mood regulation, and other systems, and lower the systemic suppression, the lower theoretical risk of these dysfunctions. For patients who want the benefit of DHT blockade at the follicle level. While minimizing whole body hormonal exposure, topical finasteride is a clinically rational option. It is particularly relevant for patients who are concerned about side effects but want DHT targeted treatment, younger men who are earlier in their hair loss progression and may be on treatment for decades, and patients who have experienced side effects on oral finasteride but want to continue some level of DHT management anyway. So, oral or topical? The right choice depends on your specific risk profile and what your dermatologist prescribes based on your situation. Not everyone needs the same approach. Here, I have attached a side-by-side comparison of both types of finasteride. You can refer to this or take a screenshot for future reference. If you want our doctors to review your case personally, look at your photo, understand your history, and give you a protocol built for your scalp, WhatsApp us at the link below. You will get guidelines from the top doctors for free of cost. If this video gave you clarity that Google couldn't, subscribe and share it with somebody who needs it. Take care of your hair. See you in the next one.